Welcome to Tech Training 102, Cricut Heat Press. My name is Amanda Boole-Chafin. I work at the Lane Community Technology Center in downtown Hamilton, Ohio. Today, you'll learn how to use the Cricut Heat Press to create custom coasters. We'll be building on the concepts that we learned in a previous Cricut video, Tech Training Cricut 101, so if you haven't seen that one yet, watch it now. You might also like our Cricut Mug Press video. Here at the Tech Center, we offer patrons the ability to use our Cricut Maker and our Cricut Maker 3, along with accessories like our heat presses, mug press, weeding tools, and more. Patrons can design and prepare their Cricut projects in our Creator Space. To ensure time to clean and maintain the space, the Creator Space closes 30 minutes before we lock the doors each night, so please plan your time accordingly. If you are entirely new to using the Cricut or the heat press, the best way to start is with a one-on-one appointment. If you live near Hamilton, Ohio and would like to reserve an appointment, give us a call at 513-785-2727. Our business hours are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays through Thursdays and 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. We're closed on Sundays. It's important to remember that staff are there to teach. They're there to guide and assist, but they're not professional graphic designers or industrial machine operators. Ultimately, this is your project, so you will be the one in control. The Cricut is fundamentally a precision cutting machine. It's not a printer. That means that the colors of your design are determined more by the material that you place under the blade than by anything that you design in the app. If you color something yellow in the app, but put some red vinyl in the Cricut, you're going to get a red vinyl project. You can buy Cricut materials either online at the Cricut store or Amazon, or in person at a craft store like Michael's. The Tech Center provides the machines, but patrons are expected to supply the material. If you're new to using the Cricut or the heat press, I absolutely recommend using Cricut's own Cricut branded materials. There are cheaper alternatives, but Cricut machines are optimized to work best with Cricut materials. When cutting, the Cricut app will ask users to choose a specific branded material type from a list that only includes Cricut branded options. Cut settings are selected according to this material type and are only minimally customizable. Not all Cricut materials are the same. The heat press requires infusible ink transfer sheets, so make sure that you're buying the right kind of material for your project. I recommend that you develop a basic idea of what you want to design and then purchase the correct materials. For example, for this project, I know I want to design some outdoors themed coasters. I landed on a style that reminded me of the patches that I used to iron onto my Girl Scout sashes. I have an abundance of red and black infusible ink from my last project, so I'm going to do red borders and black imagery. Always bring extra material to your Cricut appointment. In this case, bring some extra coasters and some extra infusible ink transfer sheets. That way, if you make a mistake, you have material to spare. Cricut coaster blanks are compatible with a type of material called infusible ink transfer sheets. These infusible ink transfer sheets will need to be affixed to a 12x12 adhesive mat in order to go through the cutter. Infusible ink transfer sheets come in two sizes, large, which is 12 inch by 12 inch, and small, which is 4.5 inch by 12 inch, or mug sized. The Cricut does not cut right to the edge of the material. It imposes a margin around the edges. These margins vary depending on the type of material or the type of Cricut that you're using, but it's a good rule of thumb to maintain a margin of ½ inch on all sides of the cutting area. Cricut coaster blanks are pre-coated with a substance that allows the ink from your material to transfer to the coaster. These blanks come in two types, round, which is 3.6 inches in diameter, and square, which is 3.7 inches both ways. We'll be using the square coaster blanks today. If you're using the round blanks, make sure to adjust your dimensions accordingly. For designing and cutting, Cricut supplies its own app called Cricut Design Space. You can download it at design.cricut.com. The app is free to use and to set up an account, but there are a lot of optional in-app purchases. Patrons will want to create their own Cricut account. Make sure to remember your username and password, and make sure that you have access to your email and phone. The Cricut Design Space app offers many templates and assets to help you design your project. Designing is a matter of choosing and layering assets and customizing text. The internet is full of free and paid repositories of images. This includes the Cricut Design Space app. If the image you want to use is already in the Cricut Design Space app, you can avoid scouring the internet for suitable images. Otherwise, find your desired image online and then save that image as a PNG or JPEG file. I like to use a website called Createzilla for my images. Open the Cricut Design Space app and log in. Click New Project. Click Blank Canvas. Select your Cricut machine. At the Tech Center, we have a Cricut Maker and a Cricut Maker 3. Let's create a guide to help make sure that we size these properly. Click Shapes and then click the square with rounded edges. Change the width to 3.75. Under Operations, select Guide. Hold down Alt and click your guide to duplicate in place. Repeat until you have 4 guides. Each pack of coaster blanks contains 4 blanks. Space out your guides. Then select all of your guides and choose Align and then Align Bottom. And then do that again and choose Align and Distribute Horizontally. Choose Save and Save As and give your project a name. Always start by adding your Cricut assets first. My design calls for a border, so I'll just hold down Alt and click on one of my guides to duplicate in place. With one guide selected, look under Operation and choose Basic Cut. Your square will be filled in. Drag your square down a bit and out of the workspace, then duplicate in place again. I find it helpful to change the color of the new square by selecting it and then under Operations, choosing any other swatch. Select only the top square and change the width to 3.5 inches. Select both squares and choose Align and Center. With both squares still selected, click Slice. Click on any unwanted slices and then press Delete to discard them, leaving you with a perfect border. If you're enjoying this video and you want more like it, don't forget to like and subscribe, or even leave a comment. I try to answer all questions in a timely manner. You can also give us a shout out on Facebook. It helps us spread the word about all the cool resources and services we offer. I want to add a little line near the lower quarter of my border, so I'm just going to click Shapes and then choose the square with sharp corners. Above Height and Width, click the Lock button to unlock the dimensions. Now you can resize freely. Resize to the desired size, making sure there is some overlap with your main border. Now select both pieces of your border and click Combine and Weld. My next coaster features a place called The Caverns. It's an underground concert venue and campground in Tennessee. First, check Cricut for appropriate images. Click Images, type Cave in the search bar and press Enter. Filter by Free. In this case, we don't have any free caves to use. That's okay. We can search the internet for one. I like to use a website called Createzilla, but the internet is full of images you can use. In Createzilla, I'm going to search for cave or mountain, and then I'm going to filter by silhouette. This is why I like to use Createzilla. These silhouette pieces are really easy to use for both Cricut and laser cutting projects. Once I find one that I like, I'm going to download it as a PNG file. Back in Cricut, click Upload and Upload Image, and then Browse and select your image. Then click Open. Choose Simple and then click Continue. The next step allows you to erase the background. If necessary, click on the Magic Wand tool and then click on any background areas that you want to erase. My image doesn't have any background areas. Click Apply and Continue. Click Cut Image and then click Upload. Click on your image and then click Add to Canvas. Click the lock and place and resize as needed. Remember, you can also click Flip to flip an image either horizontally or vertically. Click Save. Now it's time to add text. Click the Text tool. Type your text. Choose your desired font and size. I'm using a system font, meaning a font that is already installed on my computer. If you install a font after you start working in Cricut, you'll have to quit the Cricut Design Space app and then relaunch it before the new font will show up. Under Operation, choose your desired color swatch. Click your text and choose Command D or Control D to duplicate. Put the duplicate aside in case you need to return to it later. Select your image and your text. If you need to center your text, choose Align and then Center horizontally. Select only the text. Click Combine and then Weld. You can no longer edit the text as text. This part is really important, especially for cursive text. It keeps the text together as one word or object and limits the number of cuts. Now select the entire coaster, right-click, and choose Group. In the Layers panel, select everything that you want to be the same color, in my case, the text and the graphic, and choose Combine and then Weld. This keeps items together on the mat and makes it easier to weed and transfer your designs. I feel like I'm still missing something. This coaster commemorates a concert that was held inside a cave, so let's add some music notes. Click Images. Type your search term into the search bar and press Enter. In my case, I'll type Music. Filter by Free. Click your preferred image and click Add to Canvas. Resize and align as desired. Again, make sure to weld the new asset to the rest of your design. Remember, you want each piece of transfer paper to be directly touching the coaster without any overlap. We're almost ready to cut. Before you start to cut, gather all of the necessary supplies. Cricut coaster blanks, butcher paper, cardstock, a standard grip mat, a scraper, a lint roller, a lint-free cloth, Cricut weeding tools, a roller cutter, and infusible ink transfer sheets. Now it's time to cut. Click Make It. Make sure that each layer looks right. You don't want to waste material, so for each layer, choose the smallest possible size. On each layer, click Mirror. You always have to mirror your designs when working with infusible ink and the heat press. Otherwise, you won't be able to read your text. Cut your material as small as you can and then place it transfer tape side down onto the mat. Use a scraper tool to smooth out any bubbles. Remember, you want to cut the material, not the tape, so the part you want to cut faces the blade. Make sure that the correct tool is loaded into the Cricut. This project requires a fine point blade. Next, select your material. Note, if you need to, you can adjust the blade settings here. For this project, I'm using infusible ink transfer sheets. Choose Default Pressure. Press the Load and Unload button on the machine. Press the glowing Start button to begin your cut. Press the Load and Unload button to eject your mat. Repeat for each color. Once your material has been cut, it's time to weed. Weeding is the process of removing unwanted material. With the material against the table, peel your mat away from your material. Use your fingers or Cricut weeding tools to peel away any excess material. For each coaster, place your base layer on the table. Now carefully move any other colors into place on your base layer, picking away any pieces of lint or dust as you go along. It's like putting together a puzzle. This is why simpler, larger images are best for beginners. The more complex your image is, the more tedious the weeding is. Make sure that your coaster is clean and dry. It may help to run over the outer surface of the coaster with a lint roller or to wipe it with a lint-free cloth. Starting from the outer edges, place your design onto your coaster. Check the Cricut Heat Press guide to get the right settings for your project. In my case, I'm choosing the Cricut Easy Press 2, infusible ink transfer sheets, and square coasters. Click Apply to receive exact application instructions for your project. Protect the surface of your heat-resistant mat with a piece of cardstock. Place your coaster onto the cardstock. If you haven't already done so, apply the design. Cover the coaster with clean butcher paper. Turn on the heat press and choose the settings as directed by the guide. And then press with no pressure using the indicated temperature and time. In my case, that's 400 degrees for 60 seconds. Slowly lift the press and remove the butcher paper. The coaster will be very hot. Let it cool completely before touching it. Then, when it's cooled to the touch, peel away the liner. Repeat for each coaster. Now enjoy your coaster. According to the Cricut Heat Press guide, you can wash your coaster with warm water and glass cleaner. Do not use steel wool, colored cleaning agents, or scrubbing pads. If you are located near Cincinnati or Hamilton, Ohio, and you'd like to learn more about how to design, cut, and finish a project of your own, or you would like to attend any of our in-person tech classes, give us a call at 513-785-2727 or email us at techcenter@lanepl.org. For hours and location information, check out our website at lanepl.org.